Welcome to another, whatever you want to call it, Skunk Work Garage, Mr. Mike T. So, haven't made any videos in a while, haven't been doing plenty of work, just haven't been recording anything. But the 93 Sonoma, I think, is pretty much near the done column for what I want to do, what I've been wanting to do to it. I'll show you here in a bit. There's still a few little things to button up, but it's nothing that can't be done while it's being driven and used. Cosmetic things mainly at this moment. As far as wanting to do, it's nothing that needs to be done. I've been driving it, it's inspected, it's legal for the highway, all that good stuff. I've got some good mirrors coming, some street scene mirrors, some vintage street scenes. A good friend of mine on Facebook lives in, I think, New Jersey. He's sending me some that he had. Never used them, never put them on anything, so he's going to give them to me. Other than that, there's some, like I said, some slight cosmetic things. Of course, I've already gone past what I bought the truck for and what I said I was going to do with it. It kind of happens. That's the way it goes. But not really at the same time. It's not. It might look good here in a video, but I mean, it's got flaws in the paint. It's got little dings and dents. You'll see the dent on the driver's side on the bed. But it's one of the things. Kind of dragged my feet on it a little bit. It's been really hot this past summer, and with work, and the next thing you know, time just ticks on by. You got this sitting here, you're working on this, that, whatever, trying to make some money, all that good stuff. But I think we got this to the done column as far as, like I said, things that need to be done to make it either safe or, you got the carpet out. Why not go ahead and fix a few little rust spots, all that stuff, things that you want to do while you're there. You kind of find a little bit more work than what you think when you start tearing things out. But all that's done. Safety stuff, I mean, it rides great, it drives great, it runs fantastic. It's crazy how many miles is on it. What's even crazier is how much I paid for it. The guy is a good friend of mine. He wasn't trying to give me a friend deal. He was just selling the truck anyway. So as I said in previous videos, I bought it to do the tailgate tour, the GM tailgate tour last year. Had some issues with some parts not being correct or faulty, and time ticked away, and I was close, but no cigar. Which I'm kind of glad, because the carpet needed to be pulled. It had a lot of leaks in the cab. The side window seals, the back glass. So in a way, it kind of worked out. Yeah, you can drive it that way, but the way I am, I kind of, I don't know, you want to be as good as, if you got a vision of what you're doing, then it's kind of, you kind of get to that, point to where it's like, okay, I'm happy with this, to where it's like, yeah, have we driven trucks with mangled up carpet? Sure. But I don't know, once I get an idea in my mind, I want to bring it to life or get to that point to where I'm, okay, this is what I wanted to do. I got this done, that done. It's one of those things, it might be OCD, I don't know, but it's, you get this idea in your head. It's like, okay, the carpet wasn't a deal breaker to not take it on that trip. But looking back on that, I'd much rather take it how it looks right now. Cleaned up, did a quick little buff job with some compound and some polish and some good wax. Again, the guy had this painted. He wasn't trying to spend, show car money, show truck money. I mean, trust me, I am not knocking the paint at all. It's one color, it's uniform. The only thing that bothers me is that dent in the bed, because the rest of it looks so good. It's very passable. I mean, you could drive it somewhere. If you wanted to drive it to a show, you could. I'm not saying you might want to put it in there, but you could drive it somewhere and not, you know, it's not full blown hoopty. You know what I mean? But like I said, I'm kind of glad it did happen that way because we did encounter some rain on that trip, and it was semi-chilly. You know, in March we were up in the mountains. We did drive through quite a bit of rain going to in some other spots, and with the leaks, yeah, it was leaking before I got it, but it would have been one of them things that would just have driven me insane. I mean, I've driven junk before, but it's one of those things of, oh, I wish I'd have got that done. I wish plus you're cruising with a lot of other people, and you kind of want to be a little presentable. You know what I mean? You want to church it up a little bit. But would be more than happy to take this somewhere like that now. It basically, I think what I'm saying is, in a long spiel is, I like to put my little touches on it, and until I do that, I kind of feel like it's incomplete, if that makes sense. So I like to get it to where I kind of saw it in my head and done. It was like, all right, this is Mike's truck. But like I said, I took the 98, as you might know. Had a good time regardless, so it wasn't a big deal. But anyway, I'm glad some things happened with this. So I'm gonna flip the camera around and give you a little tour of some things that I've done and have done, where it was previous to and where it is now and where I see it going in the future. I reached out to a girl I know, Facebook, that's a couple hours away, and she's a really good painter. The gray has kind of grown on me, I think. I don't know, but I think I'm wanting something down here in the center, but I'm wanting something like loud, 90s style. I don't know, maybe I'll keep the gray, I don't know. I sent her a bunch of pictures of some things that, you know, some old mini truck mags, not to copy, but kind of get an idea, show what kind of colors I'm into. She's been friends with me on Facebook, so she has an idea, but I'm sure she's not looking at my page every single day, everything I post, all that good stuff. So I sent her about, I think like 15 or so pictures, 20 pictures, give her an idea what I'm talking about. And I know she can pull it off. She's more of an artist than a, you know, let me get your, yeah, she does insurance work, but it's more, she likes doing art, and that's what that is to me. So anyway, she's a cool person. Haven't met her in person yet, but I've been friends with her for a while. We converse here and there some with some things. But anyhow, I'm going to flip the camera around and show you some things and where we're at, and like I said, where I think we might be going. All right, so here we go. Let's see, last time you guys might have seen it was I had the carpet out. Like I said, I gave it a buff with some good compound and a polish and a wax. I still have to go over some things here that I want to do. Let me go over those first because it's not that many. If I end up getting the truck repainted, I will get the roll pan painted to match. I had access to a powder coating situation. I don't anymore. I can do small parts, but as far as the bigger parts, I don't have access to that anymore. But anyway, I want to get that painted to match, but that's not a deal breaker. I will end up getting some new taillights, maybe with the black trim, or I might try to polish those out, but they're kind of dull and it kind of screams, hey, do something with them. Again, not a big deal. I still have not cleaned up with this clean, but I haven't painted the bed yet. I might end up getting some more of the roll-in liner. Now there again, a lot of times you put this stuff in and it requires a lot of work, a lot of prepping, a lot of cleaning. And like I said, anything I'm saying now is not any kind of detriment to the guy that owned it. Like myself, you know, giving your access and resources and all that stuff, you do what you can. I've rolled a truck I had one time with bed liner, and it turned out decent, but after a while it does start doing that because, you know, you're not doing the correct. You get sanding and you get working and you get it clean and kind of close, but especially, and also if you're using the truck, he also used this for hunting. So it wasn't like it was like, just a clean bed and nothing ever happened to it, haul trash away, all that stuff. Also, you can see where here, of course, that's where the exhaust runs. Of course, it's getting hot. You see it kind of trickling out there. Not like I said, it's not a big deal. So kind of to catch myself, I wouldn't want him to see this video and think, man, I'm just shooting this guy down. If that was the case, I wouldn't have bought it. But I do understand that we all don't have access to everything great. Within the last like 10 years, I mean, I myself, same way. You do what you can when you can and how you can. Anyway, so I'm either going to just get some Rust-Oleum black and at least it's uniformed. All the little chunks that's going to come off have come off. And at least it'll be black and it'll be uniformed in one color and not kind of splotchy and stuff. Or I might go to Advanced or O'Reilly's or wherever and get that roll-in liner and just kind of roll on top of this and let it be what it's going to be. At this point, to go any further and spend lots of time and money in this is just a waste, in my opinion. I don't see the benefit of it because I am going to use this truck for, it's going to be a daily. It has been I've been driving it. But so, that's that. Again, not picking on it, but I'm going to get that to where it's nice and clean and uniform. Now, I got a lot of the scuffing from whatever hit this out. It might not show in this video, but there is. Let me see if I can get a little angle. I mean, it's not super terrible. I have gotten some out, but it's, it's creased here, creased there. You could probably ding. I mean, I have dinged some of that to straighten it out to where it doesn't look like a can to where you're ripped. I kind of straightened it, pushed it back in the best I could. Again, that's not a deal breaker because of what this truck. I wouldn't have bought. Let me kind of catch myself here for a second. I wouldn't have bought I wouldn't have gone out and said, hey, I bought this truck. This is my dream. I'm going to go buy these wheels. I did buy these just for the truck. But what I'm saying is I wouldn't have said, all right, well, this is what I want to do with this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend money here, there. I've already had most of this stuff. So it kind of just was like, hey, I'll use it on this project. I'll use it on that. So the bed's got a little rust on it. It's not a big deal again. I have been and will look around for another straight bed if I get it repainted, or she might be able to fix that to where it's, again, I call it doable, to where, it looks pretty good. It won't, like I said, I'm not going for a, best paint job at Mini Nats award. You know what I mean? That's not the truck to do that with. So I've kind of talked over myself, if that makes sense. So anyway, things I want to do, definitely want to get the bed just uniform. No big deal there. Taillights, roll pan painted, but again, it's gray. It's of course not super shiny. I spray painted it. It looks pretty good. I can live with it. Got the exhaust on. I do want to polish the exhaust tip. Clean, fresh fluids in it, new shocks, all that stuff lowered in the back 2 inches. I did put a new back glass in it with a new strip. And as you can see, he had some paint flaking here. And of course the new seal doesn't match the stock seal that was on it, which is, that is, as they say, par for the course. But when I took all this out, it was quite rusty. It has been leaking over there. Well, actually, this whole thing has been leaking for a while, and it's all jagged. I cleaned it up some. I sewed it, POR 15 over it, let it dry and stuff, and it does not leak anymore. It might not be beautiful to the eye, but again, it's a daily. It's something that's going to get used, trash. I'm going to use it to cut grass and pick up parts and all that stuff. So. Also, the side windows, they were a major pain because it was hard finding stuff for this. LMC sells some stuff, but of course, aftermarket, it's not the same. It does work, but I don't hate it, but of course, it is. These three are stock. They came out okay, but the ones on the driver's side were much worse. And I ended up having to grind this tip off here to get that. It was just a mess. But it was leaking horribly around these seals. So put new seals in it, and I used window sealant and kind of just had some help and just kind of folded it over and just kind of made a nice little stream in there and let it sit. Then went inside and did the same thing. Let it sit, and it's, you know, it's in there nice and comfortably. And you can shut this, and I've had it in the rain, power washed it. It's seen some torrential rains here lately, and nothing's leaking. So again, a friend of mine sending me some mirrors I want to put on, street scene mirrors. Again, there's nothing wrong with these. But right now I'm just talking little things I want to do. I will replace these. You know, they might have been spray painted at one time. They might have been chrome or silver or whatever. I don't even know if they're original, but I will replace those at some point. A friend of my son, I'm going to get him over here, and you know, we're going to, you know, she's been power washed nicely, so I'm going to get her up on those blocks that I bought from Summit, and I'm going to give him a paintbrush and a few bucks, and I'm going to let him POR 15 some of the frame that he can reach. And just like I said in some other videos, this takes me back in the day, if that make, you know, kind of redundant on the terminology. But you know, I had my 89 and I would come home, and I didn't have a shop or garage or anything, but I'd come home and just do things. You know, what can I make better this weekend? What can I do? Always just messing with stuff, but so I'm kind of getting off track. So that's that. New windshield put in, that doesn't leak like the other one did. Of course, it was rusted up at the top. Who knows how long it's been rusting? By the looks of it, a while. But that doesn't leak anymore, so that's done. You know, we put the new fog lights on it, grill, bumper, headlights. Now, under the hood, if you go back to some other videos I made on this, how rusty it was and just dirty and nasty. You know, everything I could get new, I got new. The brackets were sandblasted, powder coated. We got new windshield washer, reservoir, coolant reservoir. Of course, who knows, as time progresses, I might come in here with a little paintbrush, and maybe you can take tin foil and, you know, wrap it around things and it'll hold its shape. Maybe take some spray paint, just kind of just dab. But I mean, again, that's not a major thing. Something I want to do. At some point, I will take the grill and bumper off and maybe scuff this up as best as I can. I've mentioned before, and just put some Rust-Oleum on it, some PUR 15 on it, and that's that. I don't see myself taking all this apart to get that off. I don't see that happening. Even if I get it painted, you know, I'm totally fine with, you know, tape up what you can. And the same thing with, this is how this truck was painted. I mean, you know, it's not a show car, show truck, whatever, so I'm happy with that. I'm fine with that, I should say. Again, the wheels and stuff, new brakes, drums, rotors, bearings, everything that you need. Same thing over here. This was leaking like crazy. I mean, insane leaking. So that's that on the outside. I'm totally fine with it. I've already gone further than what I told myself I was going to, but that's just what I do sometimes. And some people might look at this and say, well, that's nothing special. And you're right. But it's clean, and I'm happy with it. And it's a 30-some-year-old truck. So, you know, stuff I like to mess with. I will put my powder-coated chrome, or aluminum, I should say, valve covers on it at some point. Again, that's not a major undertaking. You know, new radiator, new shrouds, hoses. All I have to do for the AC is I discovered a leak. I've got the new part, no problem. Just need time to get it in there, and all that works. When I filled it up, it worked. It blows cold, but there's a leak in here. I can hear it hissing pretty good. So that's that, really. Not really a lot of things that has to be done. Now I'm just doing things that I kind of want to do. So let's take a look on the inside here. I'm going to polish the door jambs as best as I can. I mean, like I said, they even painted those when he had it painted. I think he helped with the paint. He just wanted to get it away from some of the primer it was in and the condition and all that stuff. You know, not a big deal. At least it's uniform, which is what I like. So I've shown that, I believe, I powder coated it pink, and because I like pink, and I also scuffed that down and painted it flat black because that kind of hides some things. Of course, like I said, we're not doing, the best of the best of the best, sir. But, got my bezels, vent bezels painted, and the glove box. Also got the dash cover on, coverlay, I correct myself there. It's pretty decent. Of course, nothing beats an OEM dash, obviously. But if you can't find those, this is the next best thing. It does cover it. You're not looking at cracks and bulges and things like that. It's, again, I dare say the lazy way out, but they make them, they sell them, and they sell quite a few of them from what I've seen. I mean, it works fine. Like I said, for this truck, I just don't see myself pulling that dash out and saying, all right, hey, some people would. Maybe I'm not that hardcore. I don't know. But I just don't see the purpose in it. The truck runs, everything works as it should, all that stuff. It's just got some cracks in the dash. Of course, I've got a nice dash for that project. I'm going to get this painted as well, but I got a uncracked dash that's going in that. Not to jump off the truck I'm working on here, but like I said, the frame and stuff is all done. The frame is good. Realistically, all I need for this is someone to paint it so I can start putting it together. Anyway, because the engine's done, all that stuff. But anyway, the new carpet is in. He paid quite a bit for this carpet. It fit pretty good. It's good quality. Now, when I show you the back here, I've got my speakers and stuff sitting here. Not my speakers, I'm sorry, but my amp. All the wires are ran for stuff. Everything's in there. I've painted everything I could paint. Everything around the window and all that stuff. Anything I could paint and get cleaned, I did. The seats, everything in here has been steam cleaned and, cleaned all this stuff so the paint sticks. I do not like spray bombed interiors. I hate them because most people don't prep them and they go overboard with the paint, and you got to go with nice light coats to make it, because if you put too heavy of a coat on, certain paint reacts drastically with a little bit of humidity or change in the weather and temperature, and I ran into that with some, especially bigger pieces, but not bad, just where I got a little overzealous with some things. But take your time, it'll turn out decent, which I think this turned out pretty decent if you look at the thing overall. I did put this right here was peeling up pretty bad. I tried to heat it and pull it over and glue it, but it just wouldn't hold and wouldn't take right. So I drilled some holes and put some rivets in it, and they'll suffice. It functions as should. It doesn't look, well, someone that might not know, they might think, well, is that stock? But they also there's a guy that makes covers, and you just glue it down. I don't know if I want to do that right yet. I may end up if this starts peeling. Right now we're heading into fall and winter, so it might not be that big of a deal. But maybe once we get some back into summer, maybe we'll see, maybe, you know, it might start pulling around the rivets. I don't know. If it does, then I'll tend to it then. Got my Kenwood up in here. And smells nice and clean. Now, something I want to do when I get those mirrors is the last thing interior-wise, I want to pull these panels off and fix where it's kind of flapping down. Probably paint this as well, just cuff it up and clean it up, and may as well do that once I get the mirrors and do it all at one time. But overall, they're not terrible, but may as well. I think I've got new inserts somewhere in here. I'm pretty sure I do. If I don't, no big deal. But just clean it up, make it look all uniform with that. You know, you go from that to that. There's definitely a difference. Not so much in color, but, you know, scuffs and just cleanliness, yeah. Brain fog. Cleanliness in general. That's it. So anyway, I also posted a while back the headliner where I took it out, and this fit wonderfully. Sorry if you're getting glare, but this, let me roll down the window, shut the door, get the light off of it. I probably got some wax or something on the lens here, but this fit wonderfully. I have no complaints with this. Plastic, foam backed, fit the way it's supposed to. It's got little triangles up here for the sun visors to where you just kind of got to figure out where they do go and drill it out, or just take a razor knife and kind of cut the carpet to where, you know, the screws will go through it. And a friend of mine helped me, and I had no problems with this. I do have the old one, which is the foam board, and I'm pretty sure that would have broke if I had reupholstered it and try to get it in there, because you do have to kind of rustle it a little bit, which I think that's why they go to plastic these days. But anyway, you know, I painted everything I could. I'm gonna touch this up soon. Didn't try to pull it off or anything, but I think I'm gonna just, you know, that paint is pretty good. So I think if I just took some tape and just went around here, some paper or something like that, and just touched up to where you're not seeing the sun rot. Same thing with this, panel off. Try to fix this if I can. I don't see why I can't, but so got these painted as well, the bezels, and like I said, this, because the way the dash was, I did have to kind of just heat this up and kind of just pull it down a little bit. Again, it does not fit like, you know, again, to reiterate, nothing beats OEM, but it fit, you know, somebody, you know, I mean, I've seen crap at this, there goes that word. I shouldn't say crap, but I've seen stuff at shows where people were having these things and worse jobs than that. Of course, I did kind of cut that out a touch to kind of match that vent. I think if I ever did one of these again, I will actually, for my little dually. I ordered the wrong one, and these weren't cut out, so I cut them out myself. I think next time what I'll do, and sometimes see if you follow the lines that they have for you to cut it out, sometimes when you put it on, it kind of drapes down a little further than what you kind of anticipate. It's kind of hard to actually judge it. So I think what I'll do next time, when I actually cut this out, I drilled a bunch of holes to kind of, you know, I can get my little knife in there and whatever. I was like, man, that actually didn't look too bad. So I think next time, I think I would just, you know, some like 3/8 holes and just kind of random spots. You know, 3/8 holes, maybe with some smaller ones. As long as it's breathing, I mean, these don't really put out all that much anyway, but that is one of those things where you look at it and go, well, you're supposed to have a vent there. It looks kind of stupid without it. And you're blowing air maybe all through this thing, maybe loosen up the glue, I don't know. But that's what I'm going to do with it. Detail the inside, got the steering wheel looking pretty good. You know, went deep inside here, cleaned up pretty good. I do have another cluster bezel, if you will. I might put that in at some point because they put I might be able to get that off. That's kind of funky looking compared to everything else that's in here. So I don't, you know, someone put some Velcro there for something. Who knows? A lot of Velcro I've removed. But that's not going to stop me from driving it just looks kind of wonky with everything else we've done in here. I do want to steam clean the sun visors because I put them in here when my friend was helping me with the headliner, and they're not terrible, but why not clean them while you're there? I might even put some of that carpet paint on it. I don't think that's going to hurt it because I probably won't even use them much. But the carpet fit pretty nice. It smells nice. It fit nice. I might look at a junkyard one day for some covers that go over this. I did touch it up with some POR15, and of course, I blasted it down, but it's going to do what it wants to do. It is clean. Maybe I'll come back in here sometime and just touch it up. Again, not a deal breaker. Again, I got to get my mind out of we're building a custom truck here. But overall, I am happy with the results. So, haven't made any videos in a while, so I just kind of wanted to give some updates on it, if anybody was interested. Yeah, last thing I need to do, last thing I mentioned, I need to get the motherboard for the windshield wiper motor, or maybe it needs grounding. I know sometimes the grounding goes bad in those. And you got to ground it individually, separately. What I've done before is just take a ground wire, go from one of the bolts there to the frame or to the cab, and that usually gets it straight. Again, not a do or die thing. I still need to hook up my system. Again, the radio works, front speakers work, all the wiring is ran for the audio. I just need to, at some point, either do it myself or get someone to build me a speaker box that I want. Again, not do or die thing. So just wanted to go over. I'm in love with this thing. I've been wanting a, excuse me here, random motion. So I've been wanting a square first gen 2.85 speed for a long time. Long story with it. Maybe I'll share it one day if anybody cares. But I think overall here, I think it's a success. Runs great, drives great, handles like it's supposed to. Just overall fun truck to drive for me. Again, the little things I pointed out is just cosmetic. So if you really wanted to make a list, the bed, roll pan, tail lights, into door panels, and the AC, and the windshield wiper motor. But other than that, and of course, like I said, maybe get some paint or something on the frame and inner fender well. But other than that, I mean, that, like I said, that's just cosmetic things. I can drive this thing anywhere I want right now. Oh yeah, okay, I left one thing out. It does need some A-arm bushings. If you can stand the squeak, I say that it doesn't do it bad, but it does squeak. You hit the right spot. And looking at it when I put the lowering spindles on it, they could definitely use some new bushings. Of course, everything I mentioned is stuff that's just, that the hard stuff is done. Now we're just working on stuff that one might say, well, I'm off Saturday. I'm going to go ahead and replace this. I'm going to work on that or do that. So we're not in the, don't want to drive it because of this or that scenario. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking I might drive it to Carlisle tomorrow for the swap meet. But I don't know. I'm thinking usually I take that because I don't know what I might find, and having the bed cover helps with some tools, or say you find something, and the weather's supposed to be great, but you never know. You never know. Stopping somewhere with stuff all hanging out the back and all that stuff, it might kind of invite people that don't maybe not want to pay for things, if that makes sense. But anyway, I thought about it, but I don't know. But it could, no problem. I finished up buffing it out today a little bit. I didn't go super hard on it because I don't know how thick the clear might be, the bodywork and stuff. I mean, the truck was in decent shape when he first bought it. I mean, it's got some battle scars, some little dings and stuff like that. Oh, man, this thing is in great shape. I did have to do some minor rust repair on the inside. I think I got that squared away. I think I made some videos on that to where I used the reinforced fiberglass over a couple of little holes. And of course, OSFO'd it and POR 15 that, and then the carpet and stuff. So, but as long as the leaks are fixed and all that, you know, everything's working proper, she's legal. So right now, you know, I'm kind of beating the dead horse, repeating myself. Now, like I said, now it's just a matter of, I mean, the things I mentioned, you don't, other than the A-arm bushings and the windshield wiper motor, you don't have to do anything that I mentioned because everything works. Now it's just things you want to do. The AC, you don't even have to fix that if you don't, you know, some people don't even have AC, so that's not a deal breaker. But as far as what I need to do, A-arm bushings definitely in the future, very soon future, and the windshield wiper motor. Other than that, I mean, she's ready to go. You know, everything else I mentioned is just, you know, things that I want to do that don't have to be done realistically if you don't really care too much. I mean, I've been driving it, like I said, so it's not like it's going to sit here until, well, I'm not going to drive it until I get that bed straight. I'm not going to drive it. I've done that with some things. The next thing you know, boom, you know. So we're not doing that with this one. We're going to work on her as time progresses. Get a day to yourself, a couple hours to yourself. We're going to do some things. And, you know, like I said, I'm going to get it up on them blocks I got and get the boy over here and maybe paint the frame just, you know, whatever he can reach. It's just a matter of trying to make some things better that, you know, if you can, you know, get to what you can and all that good stuff. Sorry about that. Kind of went on, kind of winded, as if I'm really talking to a real person standing here. But we got my decal on it. I wish I had a colored one. I just got the black and white. That's the last one I've got from the woman that made them for me. She did a damn good job. And it's just, they're very high quality. Where I live, like I said, it's a geographical anomaly. It's you know, not a lot of experts or just people that, you know, anyone can get. I think I don't have one, but I think almost anyone can buy a sticker or decal maker. But that doesn't mean you're doing a good job with it. The lady that made these, she made them for like dirt bikes, and they're laminated and they're just super high quality, just like the one that's on this. It's been in the sun a lot. I've waxed over it, polished over it. It still has the color, the really rich color, and she can go as thick as you want with the lamination. Now, I'm sure there's others too, but you'd be surprised how many just don't know anything about that. So, anyway, 1993 GMC Sonoma, 5-speed, 2.8. Happy times on the way. Happy times. 2-inch lowering all the way around, 2-inch spindles, 2-inch blocks in the back. It might not be a true 2-inch back there, but she's fairly level. I'm good with it. I don't see myself going any lower with it. I mean, like I said, I'm going to use it. And I'll never have airbags on anything. That's just not my scene. Like I said, from where I'm from and how I've always been the in-between guy, I guess. This right here is, excuse me, this right here is beautiful to me. Yeah, I mean, the slam stuff is badass, all that stuff. It's all badass. It's just a matter of what you see yourself doing. I've just never been drawn to the bagged machines and trucks and stuff. I mean, they're awesome. I've never just been drawn to it to where that's what I want and stuff like that, to cut the bed up and do whatever you got to do to get that installed. It's not that I'm a purist and don't want to cut the bed. It's just, I don't know. I think it's more things you got to pay attention to going down the road. And maybe not even that. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I like a nice stock truck. Got a little bit of flair to it, and I can drive it to the shows where the big boys play. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. And so anyway, thanks for listening and watching if you have. And I got to make some trophies for a upcoming Halloween trunk or treat show on the for the 25th, and that's creeping up on me. I've run behind a lot. Way it goes sometimes. But like I said, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. I really hate telling people to subscribe and do all this stuff. But look, if you want to hang out, let's hang out. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm not really a good businessman or a good pitch man. If you find this channel, you like it, let's hang out. If not, maybe it sucks. I don't know. I don't care. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for chilling out for a little bit, watching this. And if so, I'm hoping to have more to come. Thank you.